Citizen Television.
Alright, greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am Cosmic Keb, your host, and yes, I am in overalls for the second week in a row. Okay, now, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the weekend beginning the 29th of May, going all the way to the 5th of June. So, what happens this week? What kind of shifts do we have that are worth discussing or worth talking about? Well, let's see. We'll start here. We've got, this is the last week where we're going to have Venus in Cancer, because next week, by next Friday, Venus is going to be moving into Leo. So that's one thing. We're starting the weekend Friday with a moon in Libra, but early in the morning Saturday, moon goes into Scorpio. So let's see, Gemini time, Scorpio moon. How would we synthesize this? You know, I think when you get Gemini and Scorpio together, it's kind of like this wheeler-dealer sort of energy. And let's not forget that we're in a waxing moon period, and we're heading to a full moon this week. And the full moon will be in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius has already got that wheeler-dealer image about themselves. So we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 2nd, 11 degrees, 49 minutes Sagittarius, at 9:19 in the AM Tuesday. So really, Monday night's going to be your biggest fat moon. Okay, so Monday night, the first big fat moon, and the moon, you know, that day by 11, the moon moves into Sagittarius. The moon will be conjoined Saturn later that day. And so, you know, that kind of, you know, Saturn on the moon, it puts a little damper on the moon. It's like, they call them like mini Saturn sautés, you know. They're in that place, and I imagine the moon to be, it's like right on the cusp of Anurata and Jyeshta. So it'll be interesting to see where that full moon takes you. And so, I mean, both of these are lunar nakshatras in Sagittarius, or lunar nakshatra rather in Scorpio in Vedic astrology. And we'd have the sun in Taurus. So, in this sense, you know, there's still this, you know, there's still kind of like this majestic or even a tamasic quality of Scorpio. And and so, you know, there also is, in Anurata, there's this ability to make friendships, which is really good. And with Jyeshta, there's this ability to honor the oldest, you know, honor those who have seniority or those who are at something first. And there's a reaching out, you know, in Anurata, but there's some restraint because of Saturn. And with Jyeshta, there is this, you know, and I think it is probably pretty close to Jyeshta. Jyeshta is sub-ruled by Mercury, so we're getting information. And here we have a Jyeshta moon during, right, or at least right after the full moon, it'll be in Jyeshta for sure. So we could say that we've got this full moon with Mercury retrograde with a Mercury-ruled moon. So, you know, when systems break down or take over or get weird, you know, this full moon can happen. And let's face it, folks, I mean, on this cycle, the last cycle we had a lot of earthquakes come up, and it doesn't seem like these things are necessarily going to stop. So anyhow, with that said, getting us ready for this week, we're going to go sign by sign, beginning with Aries, on this week's episode of the Planetary Persuader. So